you tune in, that means you're feeling the vibe. The bell rung, you already been subscribed. Right now, the queen, she on live. Right now. Please pull over the whip, no phoning when you drive. Dope Soul Sporting with the talk. First lady from New York, Brooklyn. All my people, you rocking with the chat. Hit that. The like button would tell me where you at.
Hello, Knick family. Welcome to another episode of Stats and Storylines, where we get you situated for the Knicks' upcoming opponents this week. Talk about the storylines surrounding that team and ours, and any stats that might be relevant. I'm joined by my co-host, Adjae, Hollywood, Green Lantern, the villain. How you doing, Adjae?
I don't know. I'm not green today. I don't know why. I'm telling you, this laptop is totally random. So today it's in a colorful mood. So hopefully we'll have a colorful show.
Your white balance is good. Like you went and bought like another webcam or something.
I didn't do nothing. I didn't do nothing. Maybe I dropped it at some point last week. Maybe that's what fixed it.
Okay.
I dropped the laptop. So I don't know. Let's hope this lasts. Right.
All right. Shout out to the chat, those listening on X as well, the replay gang, and of course the silent listeners. That's you, Lord Scientist, Texas by way of Brooklyn. Appreciate you. All right. So, these are our opponents this week. Tomorrow we play the Memphis, and all these games are at home. So tomorrow, 7:30, Tuesday, we play the Memphis Grizzlies. Wednesday, the Orlando Magic, 7 o'clock. And then Friday, we play Miami Heat again, 7 p.m. Miami, we'll talk about them. They are shaping up to be a pretty good team. So actually, let's just get into it and talk about Memphis. So there's a back-to-back this week with Memphis and Orlando, but Memphis is the first game of the back-to-back, so I anticipate Mitchell Robinson will play. So we'll probably have our same starters, Brunson, Bridges, Anunoby, Towns, and Robinson. For Grizzlies, John Morant, Jay Wells, Caldwell Pope, Jackson Jr., and Landell. I think that's how you pronounce it. Clark, Scottie Pippen Jr., Zach Edey. They did not play the last game. Now, whether or not they'll be available for the next game remains to be seen. Before I get into this Memphis Grizzlies stats, I do just want to talk about some of the storylines around them. There seems to be some issue between John Morant and the coaching staff. Some have likened it to Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat. When he wanted out. Apparently, he's not happy with his role or him being on the ball or off the ball. Listen, I'm a Knicks fan. I'm not super concerned about what's going on in Memphis, but it's just I'm not sure how that's going to impact his play. He was suspended for one game. The last game he came back and, he played relatively well. He hasn't been playing jaw-like, and hopefully that continues. Against us, they've lost 4 out of their last 5 games. They have a rookie, Cedric Coward, I believe his name is, who's surprising early. He's a 3-and-D wing, can handle the ball, playing really well for them. I just don't want us to be what I like to call Team Tylenol, where teams come in struggling and then they play the Knicks and they get right. I want them to keep on struggling when they play us tomorrow night. And, listen, we're a good team, not just on paper, but we're playing well also. So I anticipate this to be a win for the Knicks. I don't anticipate it being much of a challenge. But listen, this is why you play the games. Before I get into their offensive ratings and things like that. Anything you want to say about our matchup tomorrow with Memphis?
Well, our matchup tomorrow with Memphis. First of all, before that, let's take a little trip back in time. I was happy we put the smack down on the New Jersey Nets. Okay. And I think we have like a very long, maybe 10, 11 game winning streak on them. And I expect that to continue throughout the rest of the season. Like we have no reason, maybe unless I don't know what our schedule look like. Maybe the last game of the season, if it doesn't matter, we play them. We just like be like a throwaway game kind of thing. Actually, no, we don't play them the last games of the season. So I expect us to sweep the season series with them again. Just saying that, and I'd be very happy.
So Adjae has it in for the Nets. Here we are talking about Memphis, Orlando, and
Yeah, no,
and
that whole KD Kyrie thing. So
to
I'm,
talk
I'm
about Brooklyn Nets.
no, it's cool. I'm still annoyed with that whole KD Kyrie thing. To think they were snubbing us and go over there, think they was gonna be cute, and then this thing blew up in a couple of years. They didn't accomplish anything over there. I'm really happy about that for them and for us. So tomorrow, I mean, listen, Memphis is I mean, early on in the season, I'm gonna say it's a struggling team. I think at this point,
Yeah, they are.
But I don't think we should take it light. Okay, this is the NBA. On any given night, any team might give you problems, especially they coming over here to Madison Square Garden. Like you say, Queen, they always come here and get right. They always come in here and try to show off and try to show out and try to play their best ball. It be some unknown on their team like scoring 30 points or something, some Cedric Coward who never plays, and then all of a sudden he come over here having a big game. So we still got to take it serious. It's a game just like every other game. We still got to add one more to our win column, and we got to take it serious. These are NBA players. They're full of pride. They might want to come here and make a statement. Even John Morant, right? If he has a problem with his team, he's trying to, not that the whole league don't know what he could do, but he might want to put that little extra effort to say, hey, maybe another team could look at that, say, you know what, let me take a chance on this guy. Again, they know what he could do, but it's even better when you do it when the lights under the Madison Square Garden light, people like really see you then. You know what I'm saying? So it's not called the world's most famous arena for nothing, because people watch there. There's a lot more media there. There's a lot more lights there, so especially on the international level. But no, we shouldn't take it lightly. We should go into that game with the same mindset as if we're going into, to playing Minnesota. And I don't doubt that we will, because we went to yesterday's game. The Nets is like the worst team in the league. We went in there with the mindset that this is an NBA team. We got to respect them. We got to put the beat down on them, and let's do what we got to do. So I expect them to go ready and be ready, and be ready to play hard and be ready to beat them if you have to. Don't feel sorry for them.
And I think that's the mark of a championship team as well, where you just focused on handling your business. It doesn't really matter who the opponent is.
Right.
You know what the game plan is. You stick to the game plan. You come out with a sense of urgency, and you take care of business. And they did that against the Brooklyn Nets Sunday. Yeah, yesterday. And to your point, I don't expect anything different against the Grizzlies, who is much more talented than
right.
The Brooklyn Nets, but they're struggling, and maybe they're struggling because Ja's not healthy. I mean, he's not healthy, not happy, and so he's not playing up to 100%. One of I believe it was a beat reporter, asked him, "Are you playing with the same joy you usually play with?" And he point blank said, "No." So, hopefully he's still in a little funk, attitude wise when he comes into when he comes into the garden. I just want to. Oh, I'm sorry. That's not what I wanted to.
Be honest,
go ahead. You wanted to say something else?
Yeah, I want to say, to be honest, I don't care if he's still a little funky. As a matter of fact, for how do you say that? For challenge purpose, I want him to play well, because I also want to measure us against good teams, right? I don't want to keep playing bad teams. I want us to be challenged also. I don't want these guys to come sleepwalk to a victory. I want, I'd like for Ja to play well and for us to still beat them while he's playing well. Okay, I don't want, I don't want any freebie.
Yeah, I think though, out of the three opponents we have this week, Orlando made their strength of schedule up to this point in terms of their opponents' winning percentage might be slightly higher than the Knicks. The Knicks had Washington, they had the Nets. I think both teams are 1-9 at this point. But all of the other teams have been pretty much legit.
Mhm.
I want to. There we go. So Memphis is 4-7. They're 3-5 at home. They're 1-2 in away.
Mhm.
And they're near the bottom in the league in terms of offensive rating, 25th, defensive rating 18th, net rating 22nd. Rebounding percentage 19th, defensive rebound percentage 20th. They're a decent offensive rebounding team in terms of rebounding percentage at 9th. But what I'll always say about offensive and defensive rating, that's basically what you've done up to this point. In any given game, somebody who's ranked 28th offensively can shoot well. Somebody who's not really a defensive team can, step it up and play really good defense if they're motivated enough. And obviously, if they have the players on the team. So I'm not getting psyched out, by their offensive and defensive rating, particularly early in the season, right? Where the sample
Mhm.
size
So small.
is really small. Right.
Mhm.
Exactly. Um, they
And
take go ahead.
no, no, go ahead. I didn't want to cut you. I thought you were.
No, go ahead, because I'm gonna
So
I'm gonna go into some other
I
stats.
was gonna say because in Jaren Jackson's playing right. He
Yes, from what I
him and
understand.
remember him and Cat, they have a history. Like they like to go at it. You know what I'm saying? And we know Cat. Like he like a lot of times people get in his head. So you might have this guy come in and throw him off his game and make this game more complicated than it needs to be. You know what I'm saying? But you want those challenges early on in the season. You know what I'm saying? You want that adversity because that builds character, that builds strength within the team. When you meet those teams that come in here and give you the best that they got. They have players who can, who could you have Zach Edey, who that he's a
Didn't play
second year.
last game, but he might be right for the Knicks.
He might be right for the Knicks. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You have guys like what's his name, Brandon Clark, um who could give us time, who could give us some hard. Oh, what's his name? Sandy Aldama. We usually have a hard time with him. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So I mean,
yeah.
you have guys on that team that could give us a hard time. You know what I'm saying? So we definitely should go in there with the mindset that we about to go play another NBA team. And again, I hope they play well, and I hope they give us a run for our money because I want to see us play against harder teams. You know, a harder competition to help build up the strength of this team.
To
So
your point, I would prefer that nor Cat nor Brunson try to prove anything. Neither one of them have anything to prove. Anyway, they've been in the league enough. They have enough well, not the ultimate accolade in terms of a championship, but in terms of all stars, all NBA teams, they have that already. And I do get it. You're Brunson, you want to play well against Ja. You're Cat, you want to play well against Jaren Jackson Jr. As long as they don't make it a personal
mhm.
battle and just play within the
Yeah.
offense,
No, no, no.
I'm
Yeah,
fine with it.
yeah, but it's not. No, no, it's not going to be personal. And shout out to David Smith who mentioned that Jaren Jackson and Cat are good friends. They are. They're great friends actually. But they like to compete with each other. They love to compete, and they love to. It's almost like a workout for them to see who's gonna up the other one. And they, in the middle of the, in the heat of the game, in the heat of the battle, they really go at it with each other. I mean, when they were out west, they used to battle each other like real hard. They
Mhm.
weren't soft with each other. When they played each other, they really try to beat out the other one. So yeah, that's the competitive nature of this game, and good friends go at it.
Yeah,
That's what they
for
do.
sure. For sure. In terms of shooting an opponent, defending the opponent as far as shot making is concerned, you know, they shoot 55.6% of their shots from two and 44.4% of their shots from three. They're ninth in the league, similar to the Knicks. The Knicks shoot 46.3% of their shots from three, which is sixth in the league. Neither one of these teams are good at defending the three. The Knicks opponents shoot 47.4% against the Knicks and 47.8% against Memphis. So neither team is really good at defending the three, and the Knicks take enough of them. The Knicks are what, seventh in attempts. Ooh, I don't have it there, but I think they're 4 or 5 in 3-point attempts, 42.9 a game, and they're getting the volume at 42.9 threes a game, and they're also efficient at it at 38.3 on the season. And we had a slow start, if you remember, when it came to 3-point percentage. And again, neither team is good at defending the three. Memphis is also, 30, they shoot the three 38.1%. They only take 35. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out in terms of 3-point shooting percentage.
Something else that's going to be interesting is the matchups, right? I don't know if you want to get there yet, or if you want to finish with the stats and then we go into the matchups.
Yeah, and let me finish with this, and then we'll go into the matchup.
Okay.
If any, and this is for the chat as well. If anything stands out for you that I'm not pointing out, be sure to drop it in the chat, and I'll be sure to put it up here. All right. Memphis is 9th in pace. The Knicks are 25th in pace. I mean, but we still got the ball movement, the player movement. On offense, me and Geoff was talking about this on Lunchtime Live, the game recap. You can come down and one guy can use up the shot clock and shoot with 5 seconds on the clock, time after time. Or you can have an offense where you get into early offense, you run through your actions 3 or 4 times, you get the best shot you can get, and you're shooting that shot at 5 seconds on the clock, and you're getting the same amount of possessions per game, and so the pace is going to be the same. However, when you look at the game, you could tell that the Knicks are playing faster, they're processing faster, there's more player and ball movement, even though the pace, I think they're shooting 2 more shots per game than they were
last season.
Last season, as far as pace is concerned. The Knicks are really good in terms of shot per game, and we'll get into that in terms of volume. And the last thing I want to say about them is 17.1 fast break points. The Knicks are 14.4. Nothing really here that stands out for me. So let's get back to, you wanted to look at the matchups. Let me go back to, you want to say something about the matchups?
Yeah. So, and I feel that that's going to be very, very interesting, because as terrible as their record is, right, their matchups, like we could be a get right game for them because of the matchups. I think they have some advantages at some of those positions, right, one-on-one, because of course it depends on what schemes, like what the coach plan, what the game plan is, that what game plan that Mike Brown comes up with in terms of offense defense switching with those guys. But you can almost guarantee you can almost bet on the fact that they're always going to try to switch to make it so that Bronson is guarding Ja Morant, right? Which is clearly an advantage for them. On ball is probably going to be Mikal Bridges start with the on ball defense, and then they're going to switch. They're going to set a couple of picks so that he ends up on Jalen Brunson, and then it's kind of hard for Brunson to stop him, right? I mean, we know that. Like, he's very athletic. They're the same height, but he's very fast, very athletic, and Jalen Brunson's not a good defender, so that's advantage them. Anunoby, I mean, to me, putting him on KCP that's probably not. I wouldn't do that. Like on defense, I would have him on Jaren Jackson or something. Do you know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
And of course, Mitch and Lindell's their starting center, and the sophomore comes off the bench?
Who, Edie?
Edie.
Edie was out the last game, so I don't know if he's gonna play this game or not. This was. I just took the starters from the last game they played. I want to say, was it? Yeah, from the. So this is the projected starters, given that Edie was out.
There's somebody in the chat know why, the status of Edie, so please let us know. But that point guard, I think they have an advantage there.
But this is the thing, though. I'm pretty sure, like, this is not new. I'm pretty sure, when they get the switch, the Knicks are going to have to decide if they're going to, are they going to double, are they going to trap, or they going to, like, schematically, what are they going to do? I don't think you do anything at first. And then obviously if you have to make changes, as the game goes on, you do. He's not, he's somebody, I don't know what he's shooting from three this year, but he's not like a great 3-point shooter. He's somebody that wants to get to the rim. And so if he gets past, Brunson, hopefully there'll be help on the rotations. But to your point, it's going to be interesting to see how they play him. But it's also going to be interesting to see how engaged he is. Right? Given that there seems to be a disconnect between him and the coaching staff, how engaged will he be?
Next game, that's what they do. They come over here. They come over here, broken, and they play a game, and then they out for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So
shout out to King Ribby. He says Edie is out for 2 to 4 weeks.
Oh, okay. So it's gonna be Lindell.
Yeah. This is, who is this? Oh, okay. Okay. No, yeah. I thought there's issues between Jaw and Life. I pray he finds his way, and Coward is for that. Yes, Coward, their rookie, is playing really, really, really well for them. Thanks, King Ribby. It's on ESPN NBA injuries. Okay, I'll be sure to check that out before the shows going forward. Thank you for that. Yeah, I mean, I just feel comfortable with the Knicks. I mean, we're 10th in defensive rating this year. I don't know if I'm so sold on the Knicks defense, but it's looking really good, and I do think it'll get better. It's looking pretty good, and I think it will get better. I think obviously the 3-point defense has to improve, but Mikal, OG, Mitch, and his limited minutes, is just really, really helping us. We'll see how it looks going forward. I think in terms with Morant, you could put Bridges on him. I don't know if you want to put Anunoby on him, but you got Miles McBride coming off the bench.
Anunoby, I've just strictly put him on Jaren Jackson. But Queen, let me ask you a question though. So we play Memphis tomorrow and Orlando on Wednesday. Would you sit Mitch tomorrow?
That's a great question. Because I assumed that he went and played the second game of a back-to-back.
Right.
But you bring up another option that they may choose which game he plays in. If I had to choose, I would play him against Orlando. Because do you have anything else on Memphis? Anything else you want to say about Memphis?
No, we could.
Let me see if there's anybody in the chat wanted to say anything about Memphis. I don't think so. Yeah, I want to.
Oh, shout out to A-Train. A-Train in the house.
All right. So to your point, we played on Wednesday, 7 p.m. at Madison Square Garden. So you see, for us as the projected starters, I have Mitchell Robinson out, and at a question mark, Porty, because of his size, right? Usually it's Shamet, or not usually, but he has started Shamet. He started McBride in Mitch's absence, but look how big they are.
Yeah,
Suggs,
yeah,
past Suggs and Bain, you got Wagner, Banchero, and Wendell Carter Jr. Carter Jr. is about 6'10", but still, um, that is a great point. Do they hold Mitchell Robinson out against Memphis and play him? Wow, against Orlando. What would is that something you would, if it was
yes,
your decision, that's something you would do?
yes. I'd roll the dice,
He might. I
especially
mean, Mike
especially
Brown.
especially
Go
with
ahead.
Edie not playing. You know, so the size. I mean, you have Jaren Jackson is really. I mean, he plays center, but he's not a 7-footer. He's like a
Yeah,
power forward, and he
yeah.
also doesn't play a lot under the basket. He plays away from the basket a lot. So I would definitely roll the dice if and you know and
And
try
play
to have Mitch
Mitch.
Orlando.
Yeah, and even though, listen, Mitch is playing in like 3-minute spurts, still, I would still do that. All right, we'll get to the comments. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see which way the Knicks go. One thing about Mike Brown, though, he kind of mixes it up. He has that core four, and it could be Huck Porty, it could be Shamit, um, it could be McBride. And in a case
Mhm.
like this, I wouldn't be shocked if he played Mitchell Robinson on the second half of the back-to-back instead of the first. Right? I wouldn't be
Yeah,
surprised if he did that at all. He's kind of shown some flexibility in that respect, and I'm kind of leaning with you. I would probably do that.
eh,
Huck Porty has played decent, in his minutes, but and Orlando is struggling. Well, when I say struggling, they're not playing up to the expectations
I
most
know,
of
but
us had, and I'm sure they had coming into the season.
yeah, but they got size though.
They have size, and listen, at some point, if you have good players on your team and you have a good coach, and I believe that they do, you turn it around, right? It's just a matter of time. They're playing a little different. So right now, let me get to this. Right now, they are 4-6. Let me see if I have that. I believe I do. 1 second.
While you're looking, shout out to Ron, still
Yeah.
Knicks fan. Why you not on here, Ron?
All right, let me see if I can get it up now. There we go. All right, so they're 4-6. They're 3-2 at home, 2-3 away, 20th in offensive rating, 14th in defensive rating, 19th in net rating. They were a really good defensive team last year. They playing a little. They're trying to play faster, but the offense is struggling. Struggling a little bit out the gate. 17. Well, we'll get into their. They're scoring more in the fast break this year than they were last year. Bain is struggling, a little bit. Um, but again, they're a talented team. I just think it's just a matter of time before they turn it around, and hopefully that's not against the Knicks. So this will be an opportunity, like you said in the beginning, how you like to see the Knicks play against good teams. Like I'm really looking forward to Knicks playing Miami, and we'll get into them next. But this is an opportunity to see how the Knicks play against size.
Yeah,
Right? We tried out a lot of three-guard, not a lot, but we tried out our fair share of three-guard lineups. This is a big team. Let's see, does he go with Huck Porty more? Does he go with Jemison? Or does he just stick with the three-guard rotation and see if we make them change? Because it's not always because they're bigger than us, we're at a disadvantage. They could be at a disadvantage trying to guard small, right? So
I don't know. I don't know about that. They gave us a hard time last season, man. Because remember, you got Anthony Black plays he's like he's a point guard, really, but he's 6'7". He's 6'7" point guard. you know,
Coming off the bench. Yeah, he comes off
coming
the
off the
bench for them.
bench, you know, and coming off he's, you know, on some teams he would be a starter. On some of those younger teams he'd be a starter, but he's coming
Yeah.
off the bench.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, I wanted to show, give me 1 second. StreamYard is killing me. But anyway. Yeah, not playing as expected, faster pace. They're 12th in pace, and Bain is still adjusting to his role with them. I think, like I said before it's all said and done, they're gonna be a good team. And this is another team for the Knicks not to take lightly, and I don't think they will. They're very talented. They have an opportunity, to win in every game, right? So
I agree.
they're 14th in pace, and they take most of their shots from 62.6% of their shots is from, is from the 2 point, line. They get to the line a lot. They're number one in attempts, 32.4 free throw attempts per game. And Mike Brown, when he's playing his defense, when he talks about defense, he talks about being physical without fouling. He doesn't want to put teams on the line. So we'll see how the Knicks do in that regard. They're only 18th in terms of hitting free throw shooting, 78%, but they get to the line a lot. And they're another team that's not good at defending the three. At least the teams they've played so far is shooting 48.4% from them. And again, the Knicks are a 3-point shooting team. They have both the volume and the efficiency through these first 9 games. So if this holds true, the Knicks shouldn't have, much trouble, getting clean, getting clean. Oh, I'm sorry. Opponent field goals, 48.4%. My apologies. But 23rd in opponent 3-point percentage. Teams are shooting 37.1% against them. And teams are shooting a 3-pointers 39.4% against the Knicks. Like the Knicks really, really, really have to get that together. Anything statistically or elsewise, including matchups, if you will, that stands out?
It's basically their size and athleticism. First of all, I don't even understand why they're so slow to start the season. Going into the season, I thought that was going to be one of the teams that leading the East. And I mean, not to say that's still not going to happen. I still think they just once they get going during the regular season, they're going to be one of the, they're not going to be a playing team. I feel like they're going to go to the playoff. That they're going to be, well, at least that was my thought, because I didn't know Miami was going to be up there or Chicago. For the Chicago, that's the surprise,
Right.
But but I do think Orlando, they have a very good team. They have a very good roster, and their bench, like when you like the first 9 guys are pretty good guys, and of course you never have to play more than 9 guys really. I mean, once they get it going, they're gonna get it going. What bothers me with them is their size and athleticism. Okay, they're very good defensive team. They're very physical defensive team. The kind of team that we don't do well against, or we struggle against, kind of like Detroit last season in the playoffs. They give us a hard time because they were so physical and so big and long guys, very athletic. They play the passing lane. Again, I just hope this is not a get right game for them. They come to the Madison Square Garden and then all of a sudden everybody, they find their mojo, coming over.
I think part of why they're struggling is that the offense is different, the pace is different. So it wasn't like we're gonna run the same things we ran, the same offense we ran before, and we're just gonna add Bane to it. They're kind of mixing it up, changing some things. Look at them, 14th in defensive rating. I don't recall where they were last year, but I believe they were 8, top 10, in defensive rating. And again, it's still early. These offensive and defensive ratings will sort themselves out as the season goes on. Yeah.
It's not a terrible plan because remember last season they still had the same issue with the 3-point shooting, right? So going out and get Bane that's actually a great move for them because they actually got what they needed. A guy who's a pretty good defender who would fit in their defense, in their defensive scheme, and who could also, run an offense and shoot the three. He could run offense a little bit. He's not a pure point guard, but he could bring the ball up, and he was a sniper in Memphis. You know what I'm saying? So once he gets to that point, it's gonna be, he's gonna fit. I think he's gonna fit that team very, very well.
No, he is, and he's struggling as of late. You're right, A Train. He is struggling. Listen, Orlando. Those are their issues. They'll figure it out. It's important for the Knicks, Wednesday to be on point. And I didn't even talk about it, but look at the Knicks. 2nd in offensive rating, again, early in the season, 10th in defensive rating, 4th in net rating. And Geoff talked about this earlier. That's the sign of a really good team, a championship-worthy team. Look at the net rating, and the Knicks are 4th. And the Knicks are a juggernaut rebounding as well. Rebounding percentage, I like to use rebounding percentage instead of total rebounds because total rebounds is impacted by how a team shoots, right? If a team is shooting lights out, there's not a lot of rebounds to get. So rebound percentage is how many of the available rebounds is the team grabbing up, and the Knicks 54 point. I don't know. I think that might be a mistake, but anyway, they're 3rd in rebounding percentage, they're 6th in defensive rebounding percentage, and they're 2nd in offensive rebounding percentage. And it's not just Mitch, in terms of offensive rebound. Cat offensive rebounds. OG's total rebounds are up. His offensive rebounding is up as well. So they're really good offensively. They're really good, shooting the three, both volume and efficiency. Their rebound, like this is the makings of a championship team. At least statistically, obviously you have to play the game. So to your point, I'm really interested in this matchup to see how the Knicks deal with their size. All right.
There's a couple of things I want to bring up.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So Sherwing says Orlando is one of the teams that'll go after Mitch in the offseason. I don't think Mitch should be a priority. I mean, we're just saying how much size they have, and they have a lot of big guys. Unless they're losing some of their size up front, I don't see the need for Mitch on that team. What do you think, Queen? Is that something that, like, if I'm Orlando, that's not a priority to me. I mean, they have a couple of big guys up front, man. They have Jonathan Isaac, I think, is on that team.
Yeah.
What's that guy? He always gives us a hard time. Batazi, that guy. He always gives us a hard time. You got Randall Carter Jr. I mean, there's a lot of they do have a lot of size. I don't see them going after Mitch because they don't have the size either. I don't see a need for them.
Yeah. I'm texting my guy, Lee Escobedo, Nick of Time. I can't go long tonight, but I would love to have him on the show, and anybody else who wants to come on this show, because I put the stats out here, and there's only a certain things stick out to me. Like when I was doing it, I'm like, oh, this stick out. But I know Lee looking at this is going to see something else is going to stick out to him that I didn't think about. Something else is going to stick out to you, Adjae, that I didn't think about. And the same thing for the chat. So if I didn't have to run today, Lee, I would absolutely love to have you on this show.
Queen,
Yeah.
shout out to Lee, because like we watch Knicks games. I think Lee watch every game. I think Lee Escobedo watch every game. So shout out to him for that.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I do want to get to some of the chat though. Sharon, appreciate you. The Knicks will not bully Orlando. They are long. Okay.
They are.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see. You know, this is a test, right? We running these 3 guard lineups. How are we going to do against taller teams? Wiz, BKLA, appreciate you. I think Mike Brown has the team focused on the process, so letdowns are not a consideration. They could play a high school team and execute the game plan methodically without thinking about the opponent. Yeah, I really say that again.
I said I hope he's right. I hope Wiz is right.
Yeah. David Smith said John Morant just got suspended again. Can somebody check that? I know he was suspended earlier for 1 game.
I just looked that up. I didn't see anything on that. Maybe, maybe somebody could look that up.
Yeah. Shout out to Ron, man. Still a Knicks fan.
Still Knicks fan.
Appreciate you. I don't even have to ask you guys to subscribe. I'm pretty sure everybody here is subscribed to their channel, and if not, right after this, make sure you do so. Yeah. All right. Nick Nation, appreciate you rocking with us. Orlando game will be physical. We need Mitch. I definitely would have him play, maybe even both games, just shorter minute. Nick Nation, I don't know if we could get any shorter than 16 minutes now. But I do think Mitch can help us. Mitch can help us in every game. He could definitely help us in this game. Let's see what Mike Brown does. Yeah, definitely. Lenny Wilkins, may he rest.
And the medical staff. Mike Brown and the medical staff, because they all got they got to figure it out together.
For sure. Rest in peace to Lenny Wilkins. He coached the Knicks.
Yep.
It was just 1 season, 2004. Wow. I thought it was longer. I thought it was longer than that. May rest in peace. Condolences to him and his family. Legendary career, obviously beyond the Knicks. If I'm not mistaken, he was voted to the 50th and the 75th team, or just one of them?
He's in Basketball Hall of Fame twice, as a player and as a coach.
That part. Yeah, that part for sure. Still Knicks fans, Ron. Yeah, Orlando is having a slow first month of the season. I'm not worried about them. Remember, the Indiana Pacers were under 500 in January, if I'm not mistaken. Lenny Wilkins coached the most games in the NBA. Yeah. Age for always rocking with us. Yes. All right. This next game shouldn't be that difficult. Memphis isn't that going back to Memphis. Okay. All right. Anything else on Memphis before we get to
Orlando?
Miami. On Orlando, I'm sorry. Before we get to Memphis, Miami.
Yep.
Get myself together here.
Same thing. Same thing as Memphis. Don't sleep on them. Don't sleep on them. That's the team. This team gave us a lot of problems last season. I don't expect this game on Wednesday to be an easy one. So we got to go in ready. We got to go in prepared, like, for a serious battle, because they're not, especially they struggling, and they're trying to get their season going. So the effort's gonna be, extra, when they play the Knicks.
Yeah, for sure. My crooked classes. Oh boy. All right, there we go. Looking a little better. All right. Miami, we played them Friday, 7:00. MSG, listen, let's go 9-0 on this homestand. You know, I do. Is that the last? I think that's it because Monday we are in Miami, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, back to
Or
back.
okay, home and home. All right,
Yeah, home and home.
all right. So I'm really impressed with Miami. So potential starters, projected starters, Davion Mitchell, Norman Powell, new to the team, Pele Larson. I hope it's Pele. Is it Pele Larson? Andrew Wiggins, Khalil Ware. Adebayo has missed 2 games. I believe he's out tonight versus Cleveland. They have a home and home with Cleveland. I believe he's going to miss both of those games. He'll be right for the Knicks come Friday. Trust.
That's why he's missing those 2 games. He's getting ready for Knick. That's
Hero has not played this season. I believe he had off-season ankle surgery, but he's close. He's close, and I wouldn't be surprised if he made his first appearance of the season against the Knicks. But Miami right now is 6-4, better than expected. Right, 6-4 after 10 games. They're 4-0 at home. They're 2-4 on the road. They're number 2 in points scored. They're 5th in field goal percentage. They have the 5th best defensive rating. We'll get into this. All without Hero and Bam. And I even think Norman Powell missed 2 games this season. Jaime Jaquez, I hope I said that right, really stepping up for them. 17.7 rebounds, 5 assists on the season. And they are number 1 in pace. Number 1 in pace. Let me get to Miami. Okay, of course. Hold on. Give me a minute. There we go. 6-4, right? 4-0 at home, 2-4 on the road. 13th in offensive rating, 5th in defensive rating, 7th in net rating. Really not a good rebounding team. You know, obviously Bam has missed 2 games, but he's averaging about 8. That's pretty much his career average. They're not a really good defensive team. They're number 1 in pace though. And they take most of their shots from 2, 60.8%. No, I shouldn't say 60.8% from 2, 39.2% from their shots, but from 3. But this is what's interesting. Look at that. Opponent field goal percentage. Teams are shooting 43.9%, at least the teams they've played so far. 43.9% from the field against Miami. 32.2% from 3 teams are shooting. And they're 5th in defensive rating. Whether this holds up or not, I don't know. Early in the season, and I think, let's see, do I have their opponent win percentage? Opponent win percentage 45.1%. You know, on the season. But this is what I wanted to point out. They're only shooting 33.9% from 3, but they're taking close to 40 shots. And either they're not listening to the coach or the coach believes that the efficiency is going to get better. Almost 43s a game, right? So it seems to me they're going to take them and that they trust that over time they will make them. And the Knicks, I think this is probably the fourth or fifth time I'm saying that, haven't really been good defending the 3 up to this point. Now, some of that, what I didn't do, and you can go down a rabbit hole. You can go down a rabbit hole with these stats. What I didn't do was, you know, the Knicks haven't been great, you know, in defending the 3, but is it that, you know, these are contested shots that teams happen to be hitting? Like that I didn't look at, because you can, though that data is there. You know, of the 3s the Knicks are giving up, how many are wide open? How many are open? How many are contested? So if opponents are shooting 39.4% against the Knicks, but the Knicks are contesting the shots, it's just a matter of time before that evens itself out, right? And that 3-point percentage goes down. But if these are wide open shots teams are getting, and they're hitting them at a 39.4% clip, then the Knicks just have to be better. The Knicks just have to be, they just have to be better. Go ahead. You want to say something?
A lot of them have been wide open.
A lot of them.
Mm-hmm. A lot of them have been wide open. So listen, I expect us to clean that up. But if a team like Miami, if they shooting, what do you say, 33% from three?
34%, close 30, to 34%.
Okay, so let me see. Yeah, 33. Okay, so 34. Let's say 34% from.
But they putting them up. They are putting them up.
Right, and they putting up 40. So that means there's a lot of defensive rebounds. So if we keep them off the board, if we crash the board, we keep them away from the rebounds. That's a huge advantage if they're not getting second chance shots. If they get second chance opportunities, then we're in trouble. So we have to be mindful of that. You know what I'm saying? So if they're putting up 40. I mean, so there's like 26 rebounds for us to be had on the defensive end. So we got to go with that mindset, knowing that these guys are going to miss like 2/3 of their shots. Okay. Make sure you be ready for the rebound. Don't let these guys come grab the offensive rebound and get second opportunities. That's very important because that's, 26 more possessions is a huge difference in the NBA game. Obviously,
Yeah.
So we have to go in that mindset that we have to crash the defensive board and make sure we keep those guys away from it and play our game. We should be all right. Yeah, they play good defense, but again, if you move the ball, like Clyde say, the guys can never, you can never outrun the ball, right? If you move the ball, you'll be able to shake off the defense more often than not. So they're playing well. Again, I like a good challenging team. I really, really, really do not like the Miami Heat. And
as much as Geoff doesn't like Clarkson, Geoff got to say that like 5 times a show. As much as Geoff doesn't like Clarkson.
Yeah. I like my feeling towards Miami is what, like in football, what I feel towards the Dallas Cowboys. That's how much I feel about that team.
Wow.
And I haven't liked him since the 90s. And I don't know if maybe it's those battles against the Knicks, and I just never, I don't know. But yeah, so let's put up a good game, man. I mean, this team is not, their record is good, but on paper we should be able to beat this team without, we should be able to beat them.
Yeah, they're second in fast break points, 19.7. So the Knicks transition defense better be on point.
Yep.
Not really good in second chance points. Second in, points in the paint. What I don't have here is the Knicks defense. How much points in the paint are the Knicks allowing? Like I said, you can go down a rabbit hole with these, with these stats. They're third in points off turnovers. I mean, so look at that. 20 points off the fast break, 23 points off turnovers. Obviously some of those turnover points could be fast break points as well. As far as matchups are concerned, though, I mean, Jaime Jaquez didn't even start the last game. He came off the bench. Doesn't mean he won't start against the Knicks. And I think it was A-Train in the chat that said Norman Powell is playing well. 23.3 points per game, 4.6 rebounds, 2.4 assists, shooting 46.7% from the field, 46.2% from three. I thought it was a typo. Yeah, I thought something was wrong. I had to double check that. I think he's taking about 5 threes a game, and that's not nearly enough, right? In my opinion, anyway, if you shoot 46.2%. And he's shooting 94% from the line, and he takes 7 free throws a game. So he's playing well from them. And that's what usually happens, right? When a team is surprisingly playing well, and they have injuries, somebody is stepping up, right? Powell, Jaime Jaquez are, they're stepping up for them. And when Bam and Hero returns, they could be a problem. I know I was reading an article. He must have been I don't know if he was a beat reporter or a fan or what. It could be both. That they need to try to get a superstar in there. Now I'm like, wow, it's 8. Like you don't even want it to play out a little while to see if this team is for real. But that there's some that want them to swing for a superstar. I feel like this team, if they get that, could be in the running. And every time I'm reading up on a team in the Eastern Conference, the East is wide open. Everybody is saying that. It's not just the Knicks and Cleveland saying that. Milwaukee is saying that. Detroit, even these bottom teams, you know, feel like they have a chance because the East is wide open. I guess they feel like the Knicks and Cleveland are not proven, yet, and that their chances, are just as good. All right, let's see what the. Go ahead.
They're playing well. You got to give them credit, man. You got to give that organization credit because no matter who they have on the floor, like they be no-name guys, some way, somehow they come in here, they ball out. Like you be guys like Max Strus, pick him off the corner somewhere, and he comes in. He comes in Miami. He goes to Miami, and then boom, all of a sudden he's like he's a sniper. A lot of guys go in. What's that guy that got that went to LA? Point guard. I forgot his name. I forgot. His name.
I don't remember.
He's playing for the Lakers now. I know you don't remember. But I mean, those guys they come in, they go to Miami, and then they come out much better NBA players. And sometimes they go elsewhere. They leave Miami and they suck.
Yeah.
So
systems matter.
Oh, absolutely.
And the thing about Miami, I think I'm guessing, obviously, I think they're very clear on what that player's role is going to be. Like that player knows to a T what their role is. And they don't try to ask them to do anything more than they can do. Just be good at whatever it is that you do. And they find guys that, are able to fit right in, play their role to a T.
Yep.
All right, let's get to the chat. Wiz, Powell is an all-star, and Jaime can start for almost any NBA team, but overall, we are still a better team. Sherwin, I told you guys Miami and Toronto will be better than you guys were saying. I had both Miami and Toronto when we did the ranking of the Eastern Conference. I was with you, Sherwin. I thought Miami and Toronto would be good also. Wolverines, 1986. YouTube didn't assign you that 1986. I think that's yours. Miami doesn't have Brunson, Cat, or OG. They ain't on the Knicks level. Miami does have a better coach. And go ahead.
No, I was gonna say not just coach, but system. The whole system, the whole organization. Somehow, man, they get these guys to overperform.
Yeah, I do think Spo is one of the top coaches.
Yep,
definitely in the NBA, and you can even argue in the history of of the NBA. But the Knicks have a better team, in my opinion, at least on paper. Obviously, you do have to play the game.
Gabe Vincent, thank you.
Gabe Vincent, helping you out. All right. Okay. Somebody, I thought I started, but I guess I did. No, okay. All right. Okay. I just needed to go up. All right. Shout out to Lee again. In terms of Lenny Wilkens, and he was placed as a top 15 coach of all time. Won a chip with the Seattle Supersonics. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Rest in peace again. Loving how the Knicks are defending home court. I see them winning the next 10 home games.
That's what's up.
All right, sis. All right now. Size 9 Heat got defense in the backcourt. Davion and Powell is a handful. Sure, when the Bam is out, we beat Miami. Point blank. Period.
Yeah, don't forget. Yeah, they still got Khalil Ware, who always give us problems. Who this guy, man? Like,
yeah.
he be average, and he plays against us. All of a sudden, he's better.
Yeah. All right. I think that's all. That's all I have. I think we have a game next Monday. So when we have a game next Monday, I might just do a video and put it out, because Sunday is an off day for me. Sunday is football day for Adjae.
We got the next 2 Mondays.
Yeah, so I may just do this on video, just to kind of help you guys just have a little more insight into the teams that we're playing, not just statistically, but what's going on, what's going on with them. Anything I didn't mention, or any last words or anything you wanna add?
Out of those three, actually, I have a question. Out of those 3 teams, okay, like, what's your prediction? Which team do you feel that we? I mean, or do you feel that we're going 3-0 or 2-1? What are you thinking?
I think we're going 3-0. I really do. Yeah, I think the Knicks, the way the Knicks came out against Brooklyn's not a good team, right? They're 1-9 right now. How they came out and their approach to the game, how engaged they were, like, just professional. Just professional. I think Memphis is reeling a little bit. I think there's, some chemistry issues or whatever is going over there. I think the Knicks are going to be primed and ready. I think Orlando is not playing as well as they expected. They still have a good team. The talent is still there. And they do have the size. If we were to lose one, I think I would say it would be Orlando, even though Miami is playing better. I think the Knicks going to be extra sharp against Miami because we lost to them. We lost to them
Revenge.
Already. I think we go 3-0. I think if we were to lose one game, I think it would be Orlando. I think it would be the size.
And as far as how they came out in yesterday's game, you could say it. You don't have to be modest. Say, listen, these guys came out. They said we're not going to play more than 3 quarters. We're going to take care of business 3 quarters and let the bench do their thing. And that's what they did. It's all right.
Yeah.
And
for sure, nobody played over 30 minutes last night.
Yeah.
Even and Mike Brown took the last of the starters out with 8 minutes left. Unheard of around here. But even then, I'm like, why are they even playing at all?
Yeah.
I'm like, why are they even playing at all?
That 4th quarter, these guys should have sat the whole 4th quarter, the starters.
Yeah. But yeah, he got him. But listen, coaches, I think in general, have a little. They're worried about teams coming back. That a little tiny PTSD. Some coaches have been traumatized heavily, shock treatment. Shout out to my guy Thibodeau, and others are just a little like, let them play 4 minutes into the 4th, and then I'll take them, out. Definitely. Roman the Chosen. Right? Roman the Chosen. Say it again for those in the back. Yeah. Loving, just loving how the Knicks are playing. And when you dig into the stats, again, still early. I just like where we're. Any last words?
Last word.
What's your record? Yep.
Come on, Queen. that even a question? Is that even a question? We're 3-0, man. 3-0. 3-0.
Who do you think would give us a challenge?
Miami.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, depending on if Bam is out, it's not going to be much of a challenge. But if he's playing, it's going to be a challenge. I mean, Powell he's very hard to guard. Like for our guys to guard, like we can't seem to check that guy on any team he play. Like whatever team he plays on, he's a problem for us. You know, he's kind of like I mean, there's a couple of guys like that.
Yeah, I like him. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know,
Bam didn't even play well the last time when they beat us. He didn't even.
Beat us. Yeah, but he
He didn't shoot well. I should say he didn't shoot well. You don't have to shoot well to play.
You don't have to shoot well. All he has to do is keep setting them moving screen that they're not calling, and then he'll impact the game. Like he always set, you know, illegal screens, and him and Draymond Green. Draymond actually holds you. Watch the Warriors. Draymond actually holds you when but the refs let him get away with it. So whatever. Queen, shout out to the chat, man. Make sure y'all hit the like button before you go out. And shout out to A-Train for bringing that up. Like, you know, we're not hitting the like button. Hit the like button. It's very easy, very simple. It's a free way to support this channel and to support us. You know, when we do these shows, we'll do more shows. If you hit the more you hit the like button, the more shows will come up with. How's that?
Yeah. And listen, this is a new show. Let us know what you like. Let us know what you didn't like. Let us know what you want more of. Let us know what you want less of. We'll tweak it, you know, as we
absolutely,
you know, as we go along. Appreciate you, David Smith. Boy, he working triple time, man. All right. What is today? So the Knicks play Tuesday and Wednesday. So Geoff and I, lunchtime live, game recap and reaction show Wednesday and Thursday at 12:30 p.m. Then we have the weekly show, Just Nicking It, at Thursday, 9 p.m. And then we play Friday, so there'll be another recap and reaction show Saturday. That'll probably be early. That'll probably be around 10. Right? The weekends we try to go earlier so we could just get on with our day. I appreciate everybody in the chat, replay gang, silent listeners. Lee, if I didn't have to run, I would have loved to have you on this show. You know, hopefully you could come on next week. And look at that, Ron. Ron up next. Definitely. Still Knick fans, Ron and John. He said it's a 9:30. You can go get your hot wings or whatever it is you need before the show.
Yep.
Appreciate everybody. Until next time.
Peace.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Dope soul.
Where you at?